Hello and welcome to another episode of PreSales Insight. Today, we look into C-level meetings, driving our sales forward. My name is Sascha Oehl, a pre-sales and tech sales leader in EMEA. Meeting C-level executives is a desire and a fear of many working in sales or tech sales roles in the industry. Let's see how we can get more safety and impact in those meetings. We will start with the insight why C-level meetings are different from others. Then we discuss clarity, structure, and the things to consider for a pitch, as well as some tips for preparation of the meeting to drive an outcome and not teach into the desert. Yes, it is just another meeting, but the rules on the field are different. This can cause anxiety and drive failure. Why is this? First, most C-level meetings come with more time pressure than any other meeting. Often, the play clock is ticking down right the moment we enter the field, and we are playing against a hard cut. Second, in many cases, this is our first session with this person. This is one shot, one opportunity. We make it or break it. If we deliver no value, we will most likely not get another chance. And value is not that we introduce ourselves. Usually, we are not that kind of a celebrity or importance that people want to make a picture with us to put it on a wall. It is about making them successful. Third, it is about the impact. We screw a meeting, should not happen, but we can fix it. Here, we are dealing with a high impact decision maker where we have limited access to. If we fail, this can easily prevent us from doing business with this company. The impact of failure is high. Fourth, it is visible internally. Your manager wants to attend or be informed about the outcome. So no pressure, lad. Which goes with the other points, assumptions and hopes. You have hopes how this meeting can move the needle, so have others in your company. And if those wishes don't come true, pressure will increase from yourself and from others. Consequence? We better reject those meetings? No, for sure not. We just need to be prepared. Let's see how we can do this. Clarity, purpose. It's true in all aspects in life. If you don't know what you want, you will not know that you have it and appreciate it. You will always be looking for something, but without a clear path. Without a strategy, like a ship pushed by the wave ending nowhere. In the C-level meeting, you need to be clear what your desired outcome is. Then you are able to create a structure and a strategy. You can prepare items that you can use in the conversation to drive towards the desired outcome. Be clear, be specific. Write it down. There may be even the question from the C-level person what you want from the meeting, what your goal is. If you come up with, I just wanted to get in touch with you and get a cheap coffee, guess what? Meeting is over. If you can be specific about what you want and what's in it for the C-level, then you get into a conversation. The first half could be like our company are working together on Project X. We have seen some slowdowns due to missing specialists. I want to find a way how we get it prioritized in a way that we can reach the defined milestones together in time. This is what you want. Now, what's in for the other side? If we can achieve this, the delivery in the reduction in maintenance cost within this fiscal, which will help you to reduce your OPEX spend by 30% and generate headroom for the other initiatives based on your solution selling work you did before. How will we package the clarity now in a meeting? You probably have 15 minutes, and we all know it's easier to use 30 minutes or an hour than to condense everything to 20, 15 or 10 minutes. And even more difficult for the elevator. We will touch this later. You are not always in control of what happens in the meeting, but you should have a plan how to use the time to drive from that fundament. So, what could we do in those 15 minutes? Obviously, there needs to be a tight plan. If you overrun, you will lose your closing. Plan with 1 or 2 minutes for explanation of who you are, but do this briefly and the purpose of the meeting from your viewpoint. If the other party has a different expectation, you find out now and you have still some time to adjust. The next 2 or 3 minutes, your elevator pitch, your story in a very few sentences. Be very focused on the content here. This is the baseline for the rest of the conversation. Be sure your story is easy to understand, especially for someone who is not doing a daily business in your company. We tend to use words or expressions that are specific to our company and sure to talk neutral. The next minutes, 6, 7 or 8, are extremely relevant. Understand the challenges the C-level has. Answer questions and ask questions to dig deeper where you feel you could bring value. Questions with purpose. Based on what you learned in this time, you explain in 2 or 3 minutes where specifically you and your company can bring value. Where can you really help the C-level to drive her business forward? And then the closing. Get a joint agreement on the next steps. This is important. You can use this lever to drive outcome afterwards. If this is really valuable so far, the C-level exec might extend the meeting. You get in the overtime, drilling deeper in the solution you are proposing. Understand more about specific points. Opening other areas of pain to see if you can help there too. Have something in your pocket. Stuff you wanted to bring on the table but qualified as second best before. Be trained from a technical and market intelligence side, as discussed in solution selling. You don't want to let this slip. Let's jump back to the structure and pick for a moment the elevator pitch again. Most of us are able to talk for hours about a topic. The magic is to boil it down. Brevity is the soul of wit, is an old saying. This is difficult because we must decide what not to tell. Sometimes we love some analogies for the sake of the analogy. We have to take this out. We love some interesting elements which are not necessary for the C-level. We have to take it out. We might love some of our corporate slang where everyone in our company knows we know the talk. For someone outside of the company, we would need to explain it. Take it out. Make it easy. Be sure your story is easy to understand while covering all the important pieces. What do you bring to the table? What value can you create or uncover? What do you want to do next? If you can't answer those, go back and find the answer first. How can you work through those 3 minutes? First, we have to generate attention. What are you selling? Describe the problem you solved with an example and keep it precise and short. Second, interest. What differentiates you? What differentiates you from the competitors your customer is dealing with, or from doing nothing? By the way, don't point to the competitors they don't have on the screen. Otherwise, you might extend the competition. Third, the biggest mover, desire. What is the benefit? What changes if the customer implements the solution best with a real-life proof from another customer? And at the end, the action. What should the other person do? Describe the action and define what is needed to drive forwards. And all of this in 3 minutes. So you really have to boil it down to the essence. To make this all happen, preparation is needed up front. You have to fill your white spots. Define the questions you want to ask before the meeting. Questions you ask to drive closure or insight. Start based on the research you already did. Find out what's missing in your view. Shape the questions to really support goals. Ask questions that support the value you can unhide in other cases. When the customer answers, you decide where you listen and move to another question, or where you dig deeper. Decide on basis where you can support your and their goals and value customer insights. As mentioned before, closing the meeting is the other neuralic point. Get an agreement what to drive forward. Define how you get the resources needed. Understand who you should talk to and work with to make success happen. And position an update call at a specific date. This will help you to fill gaps if not everything was delivered by the customer, and get additional support if needed. And if everything runs smooth at this point in time, you could tease other options where you could help the business to grow. Let's jump back to the overtime. The point where you get probably another 15 minutes. Here things get easier if you are prepared. You know that the points you mentioned have resonated with the other party. Now you can use content to drill deeper in it and strengthen the desire. Material that you have deleted before to meet the time requirements. A fantastic option is to have a use case of another customer or insight of a POC. This will harden the value you described before. And as another hook, you should have prepared an additional area of interest for the customer. Basically everything you would do in a follow-up meeting. Just fast forward. We all know PowerPoint is easy, reality is hard. Still, with the tips mentioned, you can prepare for your next C-level meeting and make it a success. We discussed the pressure you might feel up front. Then we gave it a format. We started with the clarity on the desired outcome. Then we molded it in a structure to manage the time and prepare your message in a crisp way, the elevator pitch. We talked about preparing your questions and how you prepare for the overtime. Now it is on you, how you prepare for the meeting and how much you learn from the meeting to adjust your style for the next one. Every meeting is a field of training. Thank you for spending your time with me and listening. If you have feedback, put it in the thread or send me a message. My name is Sascha Oehl, and I'm looking forward to see you again in another session of PreSales Insight.